It's official.
Yes, sir.
It is official. Honestly speaking, is officially
Underway.
studio ready.
Yes, sir. We're back.
A few tweaks still to be made, but we're ready to go.
Ready to do it, man.
We've always prided ourselves on not waiting for the right moment.
Yeah.
Or not waiting when you're ready, because you'll be waiting forever.
You're going to be waiting for a while.
You'll be waiting for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
So the dialogue me and my brother personally have is that, bro, let's not wait anymore. Let's not put things off.
Put things off to the side.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We've already waited long enough. Yep. Let's get going. Yep. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about that this morning. We've been here for 4 hours working, brainstorming.
Yep.
A term we've been using a lot more is, you know what I'm saying, letting our creative spaces emerge. You know what I'm saying? Is creative space. So we really just been here for hours on hours, just talking and brainstorming and just being creative, just with our thoughts, with our words, and just understanding there are endless possibilities to get things done. You just have to tap into your creativity.
Yep. You gotta be able to, be adaptable and run with the punches. Have that mentality to just go ahead and do what you need to do when you realize it. Especially us as believers, just being followers of God and if I may say Christian people.
Yeah.
We have to realize that as we go on, we have what we need.
Right.
And that usually find that when you find that out when you just start taking the steps, going down the journey and doing the right things,
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, not waiting for
The right
moment all the time, because sometimes it may never feel like it's the right moment. Like, you know what I mean? Until you get down to it and put in the work.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to put in the work. I think that's like the bare brunt of the story. It's just putting in the work, finding the time to put in the work. Anything that you want to, see happen in your life, see things grow, see things manifest itself. Not necessarily manifest itself, but just through God's word come to pass. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that God has for you. It take work. It takes some type of process to get there.
Right.
So this is honestly speaking, in our process, we've been going through our favorite word to say is a myriad of things to get to where we at right now. We appreciate the support initially from our church. We appreciate the support from our leadership of our church as well. Them just standing behind us and backing us up to get us to where, we need to be. So
yeah.
What's on your mind right now? What are you feeling right now?
Do you hear that? It's just me.
Oh, it's probably that. I think we good though.
I think, I remember I had texted you, and I was pulling up my devotion from this morning.
Yeah.
Because it talks about it's, I believe, from First Thessalonians, and I think it is I want to say it's chapter 5,
okay,
verse 16 through 18, and I believe it says, let's see if I remember, if I can pull it up, but we're definitely talking about opportunity. And I don't know, I think this topic hit me because like I was just kind of sitting, I was just in my devotion time, like just kind of in my thoughts one day.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about like the different types of opportunities that have been brought my way and how I necessarily didn't follow through with a lot of them. And I used to like really dwell on these things and get down on myself about it. But then, as I've gotten, continue to get more of age and grow and mature, I've kind of learned like, man, those times have come and gone for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, nothing's going to come out of me beating myself down. Like I tell Big Albert, Big A, like bro, the world's already going to, show us our ugly moments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The world's already going to, um, like that's what we're going to be seen in the world. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
be seen with my impurities that I have physically,
Yeah.
speech wise. You know what I'm saying? So there's no there's no point in me constantly trying to beat myself up. Um, there's no point in me constantly beating myself up. Like I have to speak kind kindly over my mind, over my words, over my life. And I have to be gracious to myself. Jesus has already paid the price and has grace for us every single day. So I was just kind of sitting there thinking, man, like opportunities I think is a good thing to just speak about. And then it also will give you some insight on like when you think about it, it's one thing, but when you actually sit back and talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
then it's kind of like, okay,
I think I think the best things about opportunities is that um it's a it's a mind setter. Like it gets to set your mind to certain things. Um and that's a lot of times I think if we change our minds about a lot of things that's going on differently around the world, even in our own lives, that we will realize how much more opportunities we actually have. Um, you know, if you take the burden off of, and I heard this this past week, if you take the burden off of the things that we necessarily do, you will realize how blessed and a privilege it is, on the things we, get to do. Like, you know, um, I get to go to work. Like,
right, and that's what we
I
was,
I get to be a father. I
yeah,
get to be a brother
I
or a
get to do
friend.
all these things.
Not I have to be a father or I have to go to work
As if it's
or
a burden.
yeah, like once you take the burden off of it, you realize how blessed you
You really
actually
are.
are.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's
and really, it's always a privilege to. It becomes a privilege to do, what we're doing in life.
yeah.
That way, we will be able to be more, grateful and have Thanksgiving in our heart around the things that people people will label as a common thrill, and sometimes that's just a dull way to look at life. Like, oh, this is just a common thing. It's like, nah, man, this is it's a privilege. You know what I mean? Like,
Or it don't matter how many people have done it before me. I'm blessed with the opportunity
right,
myself.
right. I have the opportunity to do this, and that will allow us to cherish, you know what I'm saying, those opportunities um instead of looking at it in a way that's so like dragging and detrimental and energy taking. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like that's how if that's how the world looks at life. Like, man, like, oh, a lot of this stuff can be draining, and it's like, yeah, but there's a lot of blessing in what we're doing as well too. That way, we won't become so envious of other people's lives. We can sit there and look at our own lives and be like, man, you
Right.
know, we was talking about that earlier. Like I was telling you, like about everything that's going on with the, tech side, technology, and all these things.
Hmm.
And I realized I had to sit down, and I did this a couple of days ago, and I was like, man, like I got my hand in a lot of different things, like,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like that when I'm doing it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But when you start looking around and
Yeah.
looking at the pieces and looking at the product that comes from, these instruments, you know what I'm saying? You just be like, man, like that's a lot. That's a lot going on. So it made me constantly be, grateful,
Yeah.
and thankful for a lot of the things that I get to do. You know what I'm saying?
And
I have the opportunity to
my
do.
spirit is revitalized just by that. Like
Yeah.
just by when I was able to walk in here, sit down, and you completing the setup for us and getting all the audio and media and equipment up and running. Just me coming in and just being able to just do this just because we've been blessed with something new.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That we didn't necessarily have to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These are
Right.
resources that we were provided with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That we get to have.
Yep.
You know? And so for me, man, like my spirit is just heavy with emotion in terms of just being so grateful, man. Like
Yeah. There's a fullness there that.
that's just that we need more people to have.
Yep.
Like I was just kind of thinking like, people going through different things in their life, whether it's just different types of just strife and pain in their life, whether it's losing a loved one, sickness, just whatever it is. And then, but as time continues to go and you're still here, and I'm like, I was sitting in devotion, like, man, that's still like such a big blessing because, like, yes, you are going through some opposition, some adversity, but God is still keeping you here on this earth. There's still purpose there.
Yeah.
Like so I'm gonna get into this, man. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16 through 18 is the verse of the day. And it says, rejoice always, pray constantly, and give thanks in everything, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And I broke down just each verse, man, just kind of in my own way. And I think, and this was like, wasn't even like prepared, but I feel like you can almost introduce the verse with the topic of being, of rejoicing, you know what I'm saying, and constantly praying and giving thanks, and also opportunity, you know what I'm saying, being blessed with opportunity to do things, being grateful, you know what I'm saying, praying for these opportunities to come to pass, you know what I'm saying, and then, you know what I'm saying, for this is God's will. Like, I've blessed you with this opportunity.
Yeah.
Do all with it that you can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I was just sitting, man, in devotion, like, rejoice always. I said, do not grow weary and tired from the pressures of the world and the people in it. Continue in your pursuit to get closer to God. Continue to get closer to Jesus with your praise and be glad that you are blessed with another moment of life. There are people who have been called to leave this earth, but you are very blessed to still walk this earth with purpose and good health. That's a testimony in itself, and he should receive constant praise.
Yeah.
So rejoicing for you, man. What does that look like in terms of your everyday life, your everyday spirit, and opportunities that you are?
I think it was just like I was saying before, just kind of being able to see the beauty or the gift or the privilege that we have in just being able to do or experience anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prior to that, it's just realizing that it's a command. Like, hey, rejoice always. Like, that's like that's something to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, realize that you have to be, or you have the opportunity. And this is big too. You have the opportunity to be thankful in anything you experience, good or bad. You know, like, so it's like that to me is makes it I would say, like, gives you the foundation on to be able to rejoice, like to be able to just be like, hey man, regardless, like Ty Tribbett's song says, no matter what comes my way, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still gonna give God the glory. I'm still gonna, hallelujah anyhow, like, until that sun shines again, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue to give God the honor, you know what I mean? Because I may be going through it, but God's keeping me through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? God is with me. God is strengthening me, and I'm gonna come out better on the other side, somehow, some way. I was having a conversation with somebody and they were saying like, um, does good and bad come from God? And I told them absolutely. Everything that is created has been created by God
Mm,
for God to use as He wills. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And that to me allows me to find comfort in Him because the one who created everything loves me. So like He wants the best for me. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't consider me a stranger. He doesn't consider me, a foe or enemy. But that 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 presence allows me to be able to just rejoice, be happy, full of joy. You know what I'm saying? And the more I get a chance to understand God, you know, the more of an opportunity I get to understand his will. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
that allows me to, gain more confidence. And through more confidence, I gather faith. My faith strengthens. And through my faith strengthening, I'm able to trust him that much more,
yeah,
about the things that, that may be considered really dark or considered really uncertain. You
hmm
know what I'm saying? It's easier for me to let go because I have confidence in them that, because I understand more about them. You know what I'm saying? It's like a chain, a chain reaction
yeah.
in those things, and it's allowed me to have joy in those places where may not be the opportunity or looking at somebody where they could be like, oh, that's not so much of a joyful occasion, but I can find joy in it.
But I'm
Like,
gonna find joy in
I'm
it.
gonna,
That's yeah, that's the spiritual maturity though that we lack. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
A lot of the time,
yeah,
personally for myself, you know what I'm saying, that I'm gaining, that I have gained in it's the process, but just being appreciative of those moments where necessarily it's not really favorable in terms of the outcome, but I'm still like, man, I get to still
yeah,
do this, you know what I'm
yep,
saying? I get to still, you know what I'm saying, win, lose, or draw.
right.
The opportunity was granted, you
No,
know what I'm
it's
saying?
absolutely. And that's what allows us to, that's why I'm saying like, I'm gonna speak to that a little bit too on the midweek, because we're talking about fear and all those things. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that it's like that chain reaction. You know what I'm saying? That I was talking about earlier. It really helps to get us in a place where we can, you know, be joyful and rejoice in those areas where where we get weak. You know what I'm saying? The Bible even says like, man, there where I'm weak, God is strong. So
God is
I
strong.
boast in my weaknesses
Yeah.
because I know in my weaknesses the Lord's full capacity of power, his supernatural ability
Mhm.
is going to flow through that area where I'm weak at. You know what I'm saying? And where
Yeah.
I'm strong at is where he compounds, you know what I'm saying, where he sustains. Like we don't serve a God and we don't have a father who we don't have a God or a father who just creates things. He sustains them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Right.
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? He just don't create it and be like, all right, yeah.
It is what it
Yeah,
is.
like yep, you
Go
just
on your merry way.
yeah,
Yeah.
like nah, I create you and I sustain you. I keep you and not only sustain, I progress. Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? I allow
Yeah.
you to grow and mature. And those are all great things. Like, you know,
That that produces character though. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yep. And that's what we're building. Now, honestly, a lot of the things that we're praying for, that was in the verse, the next verse, pray constantly. Like, you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? That's a lot of the stuff that we praying for, we getting built for. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
opportunities for us to, you know, what we think is a no, it ain't really a no. It's just like a hey, you ain't got to that point yet.
You're
You know what I'm
not
saying? You
ready.
don't have the character traits
Yeah.
to actually handle, that section that you're trying to, acquire. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And I think the best thing that we heard on Sunday was like, man, if we don't choose God for things. We
Yeah.
choose God for relationship.
You're right.
Like we choose God to have God. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
The
So a lot of
benefit of talking to God
is
is God.
is
You
God
know what I'm saying?
responding.
It's
Like,
not a
yeah,
house.
like
It's not a
right,
car.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's I'm glad that we talk about that, but because that's where people go so wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
With Christianity
Yep.
and with religion,
Yep.
because nothing should be for material gain, personal
Yep.
gain, in any aspect. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It should be
That
for
that mindset affects the rejoicing because some you see a lot of us don't have opportunities or don't acknowledge the opportunities to be rejoicing in certain things or areas in our lives because we didn't acquire the material thing of what we actually wanted. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So a lot of us aren't rejoicing in our lives because we don't have the car yet or the house yet or the
Yeah.
money yet.
So we're not happy
So
because
right, we don't have the thing.
we think this is what we need.
Right. Yeah, I get enough money. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Then I'll
I'll be
pray every
good.
day. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
I'll get the
yeah.
house. Oh, yeah. Then I'll fast.
I'll be good.
I'll get the
I can
car.
count. Yeah.
I get the car. Oh, my faith will strengthen in God because I know now God, but now God will.
I know
deliver.
now God is doing for me.
For me, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, and that's a lot of our relationships
Yeah.
with God. Like, you know what I'm saying. That's why a lot of us can't understand why people will still serve God and have cancer. Or people will say God is good and they can't walk.
Yeah.
Some of us don't understand that because we just like, well, if God was real or so good,
Or he would just come rescue me right now.
why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and that has been a detriment to us, you know, in our belief system, just as the church. And then I would say a misrepresentation of who God really is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That God isn't forsaking us. You know, I feel like when you feel like God isn't there, He's there the most.
He's
you know
there the most, man.
like that's just my opinion.
And
I could be totally
I
wrong.
agree though,
but
because it's like a slap in the face, because that's when the moments when you're sitting there doubting him, that's like those are the biggest moments where you're going to look stupid.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's like I just feel like this is him just saying like, well, I don't have to prove myself to you. You know what I'm saying? In the event of him already showing you like, yo, like giving you a wake up call, a reminder, like, yes, I'm here.
yeah,
But I don't have to prove nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I've been good to you.
yep,
I mean, literally.
Yep.
I remember Uncle Mo saying this, and I thought about it. How many times you pray for God to keep you and your family safe and your kids safe and X, Y, and Z, keep you safe, keep you out of trouble, keep you out of harm's way, and look every single day
and it happens
when you go to whatever destination you go out
have-
into the world and come back home.
I mean, you have months of evidence.
You know, years.
of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm 28.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I've never dealt with any, you know what I'm saying, any major.
overly traumatic thing that will drive you away or drive you insane.
me give
That's
you-
that's another thing too. Like your mind, your mind.
Mental solitude, mental stability,
Yeah,
mental peace, mental health. Like, but think about all the times one of the biggest things in our everyday society, cars, vehicles, automobiles. How often we drive. We
Yep.
drive every single day.
yep,
You know what I'm saying? People leave this earth in car accidents.
yep.
Like, I've been into an accident where the vehicle was totaled. I come out with a scratch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like those things. I sit back and think about those things, man, and I'm just like I'm just elated, bro, because I'm just like, you got to look at that and be like, wow, like, yes, bro, this is actually
Yeah.
real deal.
And honestly, like, you know,
Honestly speaking,
if I like honestly, a lot of the stuff that we want, bro, we can work for.
yeah,
It's just true. Like a part of the reason of that is a lot of us are lazy.
oh yeah,
A lot of us are
Yeah.
lazy mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. We're just lazy people.
yeah, I can attest to it.
And so we try to equate the relationship with God or the spirituality section of it.
To overcome my laziness
Yeah, to combat the laziness
and my
yeah.
disobedience
You want a car, just work harder for one. You know
and
what I'm
my
saying? Like,
undisciplined
right.
and
Exactly.
inconsistent lifestyle.
Most of us want to buy a house. You don't even have no budget. You don't own no credit cards.
I don't have no money
You
saved.
don't have nothing saved up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what makes you think you just are automatically just ready for what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just some of it is like, it's not even, it's not even something that you have to be overly like zealous about, like over just zealous about. It's like some of this is just
Oh,
like you just have to develop discipline
it's
to
like we was
get
talking
there.
about.
You
We
know?
make things more complex. Like
Yeah.
I was just saying this to my brother. Like we make things. Our human being, our human psyche, if you will, we make things more complex than they should be. When in actuality, it's very simple. It's very simplistic in terms of me just doing more. You know what I'm saying? Doing more discipline, continuously doing
Yeah,
this
like
act.
being able to build up behavioral traits
Yeah,
that will get you what
that will
you
get me. That
want.
will bring me that opportunity that I'm ready
Right.
for.
That will sit you in the environment to where if when you create the characteristics of what you want,
Yeah,
the thing will begin to chase you instead of you chasing it. Like it'll start to pop up in your areas, but you if you don't that's that's like me saying I want to become a better shooter in basketball and I don't practice shooting the ball. It's like you're not just gonna wake up one day and go 30 from 30. Like you
yeah,
just that's not how it works.
right.
You have to shoot constantly. You have to go through those sessions and those spells where you miss most of your shots than you make.
Yeah,
Where you like, man, I keep shooting it, keep going short. It keep hitting the tip of the rim, but it's not going in. Like, and I'm shooting how I'm supposed to. You got to go through that function. You got to go through that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That process. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of the stuff is like I think God is saying to us, and why it doesn't appeal to Him on these things are because they're so minuscule. They're so like they're so small
mm,
that it's a joke to God in certain aspects. It's like, man, that's what you praying for to me. Like, you're not praying that I use you to change a nation or to change like
yeah.
God does big things. God does generational things.
Right.
So just you acquiring the things that you want,
Yeah.
it's just for right. It's not even for the
Just
long game.
you just getting a car, you just getting a house, you just getting a promotion at work. How can God really use you in those aspects to bless
Yeah.
uh, other people, another nation of people
But I
who really
realize
need it?
that just makes you that enables your laziness.
Mm.
Like a lot of it is like if you hadn't worked for it, there's certain things that we have in our life right now and they're still existing to this day because we put in the work for it.
Yeah.
It's like we worked so hard and then we worked hard for it to where it's like, man, we became protectors of it. Like, hey, bro, I can't just let anybody. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can't just expect anybody to look out for this. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's part of the reason why a lot of this that came about with the podcast and everything. I wasn't telling everybody when when it first started. A lot of it was like, man, I need to see what it is for me first. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need to see what you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I need to see before we start. Ultimately
Hmm.
just getting out there and sharing. Like, man, we don't know. Like, we
Yeah.
gotta be um conscious. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like, you're a display of conscious, and that's another reason too why we destroy opportunities, but why we fumble opportunities. Because a lot of us is not conscious of like what's going on around us. Like we just
Yeah.
we just wake up and live the day and be like, okay, yeah, I'm just living. I hope I keep living.
And ultimately, that's just what you're gonna be doing. Just living.
Exactly,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Because you're not expressing or displaying purpose, not just for yourself, but for other people. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing. Like, God blesses us with purpose so that we could do for others. You
Do
know what
for
I'm
others.
saying?
Yep.
So that we're blessed. So now we have to share that blessing and help create blessing for others.
Yeah, your maturity is bound on you helping others mature.
Yeah.
Not that they have to do what you're doing, not that they have to go the route that you're
Or
going.
be how you are.
Or yeah,
You know what
like
I'm
it's
saying?
just like your maturity and character is for the other person. You know what I mean? That we can ultimately live out the one of the greatest commandments that we love each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so it's a lot that tie into opportunity and
Yeah. I wanna I wanted to just dive real quick into these last two verses, and then we really diving into this opportunity talk because it's big business. 17 is just pray constantly, continue to seek the Lord's word. This is just my devotion analysis. Continue to seek the Lord's word and will for your life through prayer and supplication. Stay in prayer about every single thing you come in contact with. The more you talk to God openly and honestly about your life and the things you struggle with, the better you will feel. And then verse 18, give thanks, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And basically, I came up with it's very easy to complain when things aren't going your way. A popular saying, the measure of a man isn't where he stands in times of comfort or convenience. The ultimate measure of a man is where he stands in adversity and opposition. With that, it's essential to remember why we are living. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, died for us, and if he is for us, who can be against us? Always show grace and love to your loved ones and peers as Christ has continuously shown us. So I was just deep into my devotion bag, man, and just understanding that life is a blessing, man. Life is a gift. Life is a privilege. And it's up to us to live it according to his will and his purpose for us.
Yeah.
And just more so into opportunity. I said here, we want to just talk about opportunities, fumbling opportunities, and how to deal with and bounce back from them.
Yeah.
So opportunity, man, what is it to you? And what is the fumbling of an opportunity, and how have you dealt with?
I mean, opportunity is a chance.
Yeah.
To me, it's just a chance to. Opportunity is life. That when your eyes are open and you have breath in your body, you have mobility of your limbs, you have the highest, I would say, percentage of opportunity to do what you need to do.
Right.
Personally, I feel like the reason why we have to constantly be praying is because if a lot of us will be honest, we don't really know what to do.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of that frustration comes from, and a lot of that fear comes from, because we ultimately just feel like we just here, you know. But being connected to God, God will show you in ways that just undeniable. That is just like, you know, what we need to be doing. Even after you know, constantly, you know, seeing certain things and going certain ways. What we should be doing comes from experience. At least me personally, comes from an experience from the things I'm doing that I know I shouldn't be doing, learning those things. So if I know I shouldn't be doing these things,
I have to learn.
what are the immediate opposites of those things? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of it is kind of self-explanatory through the experience of life. Some of the things are just a little bit more detailed and specific. And then some of the things we don't know what we're supposed to do because it hasn't been revealed to us yet.
Yeah.
There's certain things by revelations where we just understand, like, oh, okay, I had to wait till I got to this point in my life for it to be revealed to me what I need to do.
Those are more complex situations.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
A perfect example is where God speaks to Abraham and he tells him to get up, leave his kindred, and go to a place I will show you.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't say, hey, go to Mississippi. Like, you go to just leave.
Right, yeah.
Just leave and leave everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show you the place, like, on the way.
Like
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's like somebody telling you to meet them somewhere, and then you ask them where, and they just say somewhere. I'll show it to you. And you're gonna be like, well, you got gas money? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how long this trip is gonna be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like anything. You ain't got no address. At least give me the zip code. You know what I'm saying? Like,
give me the area,
the county. Can I have the county, or like, you know, like,
hey, give me the. Hey, it's over here by this. That.
Right? Do I need a plane ticket?
You know what I'm saying?
Do I need a bus ticket? Like, what do I need?
And
like,
I'm almost certain I can find.
You know what I mean? Like, And that, some of the things are just by revelation. Like, and that's why I feel like opportunity is fumbling opportunities. I feel like that's where you have a learning process where you just feel like, you know, um, you have a learning process on severity. That's what that is to me. Severity and seriousness. Because there's certain opportunities in life that we'll never get again. That's just truth. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
I don't care how you look at it. Yes, God is a redemptive God. Yes, he's a redeemer, but there's certain aspects of opportunities that if we don't take them seriously, we just never get them again.
Right.
I can't go back to high school and
that we can't go back to middle school, elementary, high school. I
can't get that opportunity.
Can't go back to graduation.
Yeah.
It's over with.
I can't. I can't. Right. I can't go and try and fix the high school GPA. I can't do that.
Neither can I. I think my grades actually were worse than you. That's it. By the way. I don't think that's ever been talked about. Like, I'm sorry, this is a side note, but I have to just kind of, but while we're here and I don't think people understood.
Yeah. Like, it was.
Like, everybody looked at because your turn was before mine.
Right. So I probably kind of like braced everybody for like failure.
I just don't think.
Yeah, no, trust me.
Knew how bad I was struggling.
No, trust me. It was, and you know what? That's what I'm saying. It's like that severity, bruh. When you start, you get to and that's something. Look, that's where the rejoicing comes in at, because now I know.
Yeah.
When certain opportunities come, like, man, I gotta focus.
I gotta be real about this. Yeah.
I can't do that today. I got an opportunity here. I know I can't go over there, because if I go over there, I'm neglecting my opportunity.
See, but you don't learn this
unless you fumble some opportunities.
You fumble it, yeah.
Yeah. When you're sitting and dealing or doing something you necessarily don't want to do because you didn't take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Then when you're sitting there, you either live and you learn, or you live and you don't. But if we're really trying to get somewhere in this life, if we're really trying to live prosperous lives, that's part of the learning lesson. We gotta, trip and fall. You know what I'm saying, and understand, like, oh man, like, not only does certain missed opportunities affect me, it affects who's connected to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes stuff a little bit more serious.
Mm-hmm.
Certain opportunities, you know what I'm saying? And like, a lot of it is like, a lot of it is not following who we say we serve, not adhering to his will and his purpose, and being patient and waiting on God to deliver, the way or the route, you know what I'm saying, to go, instead of just making it ourselves. Like, hey, no, I feel like I need to go that way.
I need to do this.
Yeah, like, and that.
Dad said this real quick to me. We were talking, because I was telling them people love to like the idea of like, oh yeah, I believe in God, because it's for antics, it's for show, it's for clout. Like, yeah, I believe in a higher power, and God, Dad was saying, like, people say they believe in God, but they don't serve Jesus.
Yeah.
And that kind of just is in line with kind of what you're saying, like, in terms of.
Yeah, because there's a difference to it.
Yeah.
The Bible says it this way, even, the demons believe. So belief in God don't mean I trust him.
Yeah.
Believe
or faith.
Believe, yeah. Belief in God don't mean I trust him with my life. I just believe he exists.
Right. I believe there is a God.
I just believe there is a God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that a part of that opportunity is also relationship. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have an opportunity to get closer to God.
Wow. Yeah. And we don't. Wow. Yeah. And we don't look at it that way.
Like, seek the Lord while he's near.
We don't look at it as an opportunity. We don't look at it as I get
to experience the presence of God.
Yeah. We look at it as, okay, yeah, like.
And that goes back to my formal state, which is why I believe that the true opportunity is understanding.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
If I understand, the
Understand him.
importance or the severity, or if I understand who I'm dealing with, it changes my direction. It changes my decision
It'll make it
making.
easier.
It makes, yes.
Yeah.
Like true opportunity is understanding. Because if you don't understand what's going on, your decisions won't allow you to take advantage of the opportunity
And that's
or realize you have one.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not, the knowledge that my relationship with my brother, my actual brother, what I'm saying is that my knowledge that our relationships can strengthen through a consistent basis of certain things allows me to love my brother in a way that takes advantage of that opportunity.
Mm. Yeah.
It's by the knowledge that I can get closer to my brother by being consistent in whatever realms that these things are.
Man, that's tough. Yeah, that's real
It
spill. Yeah.
allows me now to decide and make decisions based on that knowledge, which now allows me to take advantage of the
Of the
opportunity
opportunity that I have,
that I have.
which is the days that we get
Right.
together. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The time that we can spend. Yeah.
What we talk about,
All right. All right.
what we eat,
Yeah.
what we,
Yeah.
those things, those moments, and then what happens is a lot of the times we don't realize opportunity or the purpose of opportunity until we don't get to do it, until it's gone.
And
Until
that's so dang, man. That's so on point though.
you
Because
know,
once you can't do something, whether it's physical,
yep,
mental,
yep,
once you don't have the ability or you just don't have the chance to do it anymore,
yep,
you're left with that feeling of
yep.
like emptiness, like,
You
dang,
know
I
what it's
miss.
called? It's an R word.
Yeah. Regrets.
Regret.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's when you begin to live in regret. You know,
I should have did this. I should have.
and I'm gonna tell y'all today, there's no worse feeling of regret than knowing you had an opportunity to have a relationship with God and no longer can't.
And you
That,
fluffed it up.
yeah, that, look, I rather have regret on a whole bunch of other
Yeah.
things,
Anything
but that,
that's not my spirituality
yeah,
base
bro.
foundation. Yeah.
Where I finally realized I could have had peace in
Yeah.
this situation, but just neglected it.
Just chose not to. Yeah.
Where I could have had joy, or where I could have got understanding or clarity about a certain situation, about God, or about my relationship with God and dealing with his people, dealing with, having certain relationships with people, and just didn't. Bro, that's painful. That will create sickness in your body. That type of
No,
pain
for real.
will,
For
bro,
real. Definitely.
that type of pain will tear you up, bro.
Yeah. The things that we deal with and we go through, we don't execute and deal with in the right way, it'll lead to various emotions, you know what I'm saying? And those emotions, produce stress in the body, which
Yep.
produce
Yep.
disease, sickness,
Yep.
conditions, you know what I'm saying? That
And they
people don't even think on this.
and they compound.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
compound to where now you bring yourself on so much pain that you become numb, and then drive yourself to insanity, to where your mind now has no relative bounds or structures that you can stand on, and now everything in your mind at the point in time is just your narrative.
Yeah.
And that's insanity. There's no speaking against, or counteractive behavior, no nothing, no thoughts, you know what I'm saying, those thoughts that come up, and you can't even, you just like, yeah, that's just the truth. Every time your truth is going to change when your mind change, and that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that is false opportunity, like those false movements.
That's like you said, that's insanity, and it's also delusion. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man,
Because your mind is now creating truths
yeah,
on situations and
yep,
experiences that aren't necessarily reality.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I've dealt with numerous people like that. I'm sure there's times where I could have been in this mindset. I know I'm not in this mindset today.
Yeah.
I know if I'm messing off an opportunity or messing off something, I'm going to take full responsibility for it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's just the gene that I have now.
You know what delusions are? Delusions are self-created opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah.
You missed the vital key point or the vital key opportunity that would actually change your life. So you self-induced the opportunity in your own mind that allowed you to feel comfortable about yourself, allowed you to feel comfortable about missing the actual authentic opportunity.
Me missing a mark with something.
Yeah.
I have now created a perception.
Yep.
In my own reality
own,
that now allows me to be comfortable with
the botched opportunity.
Wow. I think this is unbelievable how we're just able to just make all of these dots connect. And I don't think it happens by accident. Like, you know what I'm saying? This scripture.
Absolutely not.
You know, me wanting to speak about opportunity. And like I mentioned to my brother, I wanted to speak about opportunity because I was thinking about my botched opportunities.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about the opportunities when I was at work and I was like, man, I was doing this. Or man, I could have been a better student in high school or X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I learned from it so that when I went to college, I was better than I was. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't perfect by a long shot, but
you wasn't what you were.
You know what I'm saying? And even my I struggled by transparency. I struggled my junior year horrendous, right? But my senior year, I was able to bounce back.
Yeah.
I was just telling Billy this. My senior year, I bounced back with a 3.1.
Yeah.
I'd never had a 3.0 my whole year, my whole high school career up until that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was starting to learn, like, man, you don't take advantage of these opportunities, bro. You're going to leave this earth with a whole bunch of regret in so many different areas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just going to be leaving behind so much unfulfilled potential.
I mean, just imagine us getting to that point, beginning to end of, our lives and we get to see the mapped out version, of our lives and what we were supposed to do and what we did. Right. I wonder what that would look like. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us, and I'm speaking for myself, a lot of us would be ashamed. Yeah. A lot of us, if we seen what our life was supposed to be, even with all the hardships and failures and everything.
Like us at our tip top mentality.
I'm talking about in this skin. I'm talking about what you could have done in this skin right here. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing what you actually did, man.
Had you been disciplined, had you been consistent,
had you sacrificed,
had you been relentless in your pursuit for Christ first.
Had you had some persistence and some, had you had some love and forgiveness,
some discernment,
man.
You see how we bringing them pillars in, the 5 pillars.
A lot of us are missing opportunities just because we don't want to forgive things. Forgiveness is a big part. Of
what we should be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
As Christian people,
exactly. You can't want more by holding on to things you already had.
Don't forget, what I'm saying? Like, don't forget, people. This is, if we haven't verbally said it, this is a Christian podcast. Yeah. We are believers of Christ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, even for example, like when I encounter people, like, and I talk to one of my coworkers, she tells me about her relationship problems. Mm-hmm. And I tell her, like, yo, man, like, nah, man, I was just telling her this, you gotta live with grace, man. Like, because she was telling me, yeah, he's just young and he just this and he just that and he just this and he just that. And I said, see, everything you coming back and telling me is a complaint, right? So I know for a fact that you don't have the mindset of, I get to be in this relationship. I get to see this person every day despite what we're going through.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Your mind is so fixated on, this person needs to be better here, 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 here. It's like, so you're constantly going to be only loving him under a condition.
Yep.
And that's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Grace needs to exist more in our relationships.
I think that's why God spoke it in a way. That's why Jesus spoke a way like, hey, yo, take upon put my yoke upon you. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because a lot of us, if we're honest,
honestly speaking,
if we're honest, we don't look at our relationships as a privilege. A lot of us look at our relationships as burdens. Like, oh man, I gotta, like, oh, here they go.
And you just think about,
oh God, here they go. They always asking for something. Oh,
and think about, but that's a personal, what's the word? That's a personal reaction.
Yeah.
Like, just think about if you do something, if I do something to you, and how much better that encounter is if you just like, oh man, it's cool, man. Like,
yeah, like I can,
like, let's,
like,
hey,
yeah,
man, it's good. Let's get back.
How much of a better that relationship that is if I meet you where you are.
If you're bringing me up,
yeah,
though,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even if you're not meeting me down here because I don't want to come down here.
Yeah.
If you bringing me up though.
Now we're not saying that it's not gonna have to be some tough conversations to be had.
Yeah.
We're not saying that.
Yeah.
We just saying your own outlook. Like my brother was saying, like the personal outlook on just, what and who you're dealing
on the
with.
opportunity with this person. Like my friends, bro, they will tell you, bro. Like I had my friends, like I had Big A was telling me, yeah, man, I just get so like X, Y, and Z about this, and I just be thinking about like getting into your thoughts. And I said, bro, like I was saying earlier in the podcast, like, bro, when you go out in the world, bro, people gonna tell you how you're not enough. How you can do this better. You can be better here.
Yep.
Bro, you can't let the devil creep in your mind.
Yeah, man.
Infiltrate your sanctuary.
This
is your sanctuary.
That's what's letting you know the devil is highly influenced into this world, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the world's telling you you're not enough.
Yeah.
Especially, us as us being culturally, us being black men and black women. You know what I'm saying? Our children. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And I'm not saying it's just one sided, but I'm just saying when it comes to cultural
cultural
bias,
aspect, yes.
Oh, come on,
yes, 110%.
You know what I'm saying?
We're at the top of the list.
You women out there, y'all get it the most.
Especially our women.
Y'all get it the most.
Yes. And I
put the weave in. Get the butt shots. Get the lip shots.
I was just about to say, and when you were saying the world doesn't want us, like, has us these things against us.
Yeah.
It's in the world is what? Social media. You know what I'm saying? Once if you're not taking a picture in a nice car,
right?
A big old house, you know what I'm saying? Right. Jets, airplanes.
You ain't on a white sand beach,
you know what I'm saying?
Montego Bay,
partying on a yacht.
Yeah, right.
You're not
living.
You know what I'm saying? You're in the poor middle class. Like, no,
that's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's cool for you.
It's crazy.
You worship. It's clear what you worship.
And for us as men out there, you know what I'm saying? What society is telling us that we ain't men unless we got 6 zeros attached to us, bro.
Unless we're not men unless we have these extra possessions.
We're not deserving of love unless we can buy the Birkin bag 10 times over. And it
was like Uncle was saying, bro. It might not be in my cards. God, it might not be in the hand that God has dealt for me to be a millionaire, to be rich.
Right. Because if honest, I'm speaking for myself. Honestly, if I was to have all of that, I would be distracted from having a relationship with God.
110%.
I wouldn't be praying every day.
You don't have no time to pray and to be sitting here doing stuff like this and to be meditating for an hour. I was in this devotion for 3+ hours. I don't have no time to do that if I'm sitting here entertaining this woman over here. This woman here.
I can go buy a Jag right now. I'll go cop me. Yeah. That's gonna be a distraction.
Yeah, I'm concerned with the things that I have.
I will begin to be content with a life without him. Like I will be satisfied by my belongings.
And back to that point though, like if I were to lose those things, right? It's all good when I have it, but if I was to lose those things, then I'm looking at God like, God, how could this happen? God, why this? Like you were saying earlier, in terms of when something happens, we're looking at God like, God, how could you allow this? And it's just like, bro, this isn't, you know what I'm saying, his doing. This is, you've been worshiping these possessions, you know what I'm saying? When it, you know what I'm saying, for however long, you know what I'm saying? And it's not going to be forever. It's not going to happen, and that's not going to stay
bro,
forever.
I'm finding it right now.
But the relationship with him is what stays forever and what keeps us grounded.
I showed this, and this was about 15 years ago. It's about around the time when I first started ministering.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this, and it blew me away that I showed Uncle Mo.
Mm-hmm.
And when I showed it to him, when I showed him the scripture, he was like, yo, nephew, this is insane.
Yeah.
He, mind you, we know how Unc is. Unc is very in tune. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With the word of God and what it says. You know what I'm saying? All the aspects, you know what I'm saying, that comes into being a mature believer. Like, Unc is up there. You know what I mean? He's Unc and Dad, they know the word. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I had brought this to him like 15, almost 20 years ago, bro, he was like, yo, I've never read this.
Yeah.
He was so, bro, blown away by it, bro. And I've kept it on me,
bookmarked for
all that time,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
For all that time, bro.
Yep.
It's Proverbs 30, and it starts at verse 7. And it says, 2 things I ask of you. Don't deny them to me before I die. 2 things I ask of you. Don't deny them to me before I die. Keep falsehood and deceitful words far from me. Mm-hmm. Give me neither poverty nor wealth. Feed me with food, the food that I need. Otherwise, I might have too much and deny you, saying, who is the Lord? Or I might have nothing and still profaning your name of my God, profaning the name of my God, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, when I read this, I said, bro, this is so vital, bro.
Yeah.
It says 2 things I ask of you. Don't deny them before I die. Like, please don't keep this from me before I die. Mm-hmm. Keep falsehood and deceitful words far from me. So whether I'm saying them or somebody else is saying them, keep them afar, please.
Yeah. Give me neither poverty.
Neither poverty nor wealth. Mm-hmm. Feed me with the food I need. Mm-hmm. Give me what I need.
And that's what we've been talking about in terms of choosing God.
Yes.
God is going to supply you with
what you need.
What you need and not what you want. Yeah. And that goes back to what we were saying in terms of people wanting these things. It's not necessarily my gift and
right.
It's not necessarily for me.
This will help you recognize how much opportunity you actually have, because you're going to have, oh my God, because you're going to have what you need.
Yeah, always.
This is why when we started out the podcast, when we started out this episode, we just said, hey, don't wait. Why not wait? Yeah, wait on God. Wait on God. Right. I'm not saying don't wait on God. Wait on God, but there's certain things that you shouldn't be waiting on because you got what you need.
Yeah, you already have. Yeah,
you have what you need.
You already been supplied. When I'm insufficient,
and also
I'm sufficient.
He's all sufficient. Yeah. There's no gaps in him.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that we've been praying for. I'm talking about those things that have been like, yo, we've been waiting for like decades and we don't know. And some of them things, you got what you need. You just don't want to use it.
Like you think it needs to be dressed up.
Or come in a certain light.
Dressed up to the standards of the world.
Oh.
Like we think things. We think these things should be dressed up to what the world standardizes, to the standardized tests of the world, and not the standards of what God has set for
God, don't give me poverty and don't make me wealthy either.
Right.
It constantly
take heed to it though.
Yeah, you constantly telling God, hey God, I will need this and I need that. And God is like, man, some of this you already got.
Yeah. Like I don't need no fat church.
What you praying to me for?
Like we don't need no big building.
Why are you
We got a building right now.
Why are you praying to me about this?
Yeah.
You had that 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But you told
you blew that opportunity.
you told somebody you didn't have time for it.
Yeah.
You told somebody you didn't want that because it wasn't brand new.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's, bruh, give me neither poverty nor wealth. Give me the food that I need. Because if you give me too much, I'm going to say, who is God? God who? You give me too much? I'm going to be like the Lord.
Bro, that just spoke to what we was just saying. Verse 9, it was saying, you just literally was saying, like, if I have all these riches and I have all these different things, a yacht, a jet,
I
don't have no time for God.
Tripping off God?
Otherwise, I may have too much and disown you and say, who is the Lord?
Who is the Lord? I'm going to...
Or I may become...
In other words, I'm going to say, I don't know the God you're talking about.
Bro, the way that the word aligns, though. 2 things I ask you, Lord. Do not refuse. No. Where we at? Okay. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread down here. Or I may become poor. Otherwise, I may have too much and disown you.
Man.
With the riches. And then here it says, or I may become poor and steal. If I'm poor.
If I don't have what I need, I'm going to steal. I'm going to get what I need.
For somebody else to get what I need. But if I'm rich.
But if I steal, I'm also doing a disservice to you because I say I believe in God.
Right.
Why am I a thief?
Why am I stealing? Yeah. Yeah. And if I'm rich.
I'm not gonna care about you. It's not that I may not even know that you exist. Remember, belief, trusting is 2 different things. It's not, I may not even be like, yo, yeah, God is it, but somebody may be saying, hey man, God is a provider. And I'd be like, well, is he?
Is he? All right, I already have these things, and I didn't even really pray for these things.
I paid all my bills.
Right.
I done bought 2 or 3 cars.
Yeah.
I.
Right. Me. It's become the me show.
It's gonna be the I thing.
It's like, okay, so you created your own life.
Right.
You had yourself.
Right.
It was written in stone for you to be here.
Right.
God set this, this was by design.
And a lot of it too is people can group, these things, these blessings or these opportunities, and they can group these things around being self-sufficient. Oh yeah, self-made. Like, oh yeah,
I'm self-made.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's because the way I dress.
Yeah.
It's because the way I look, the way I smell, because all these things, oh yeah, like now gives me confidence. And people be saying, and people could compliment you and you be like, yeah, yeah, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, man, thank God, man.
Thank God, man.
Because I really should be on the side of the road.
If it had not been for you.
You know what I'm saying? I really should be the beggar asking for some change.
Who was on our side? Yeah.
I shouldn't really, not only do I shouldn't be here, I don't deserve to be in this position. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? When people compliment us, we say thank you and be like, yeah, that's me. You know?
Right. Like, I did this, like, it's like, nah, man, you don't even understand, how dangerous that is. Because like I was saying, like, how you got it like that, it can all be
taken away just like that, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Just like that, man.
And people just don't understand. And that's why I think that's where the bulk of my emotion has come from in my older days.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just extremely overwhelmed with
man.
With just grace.
Gratitude and
happiness, gratitude, fulfillment that I get to see another day and continue in the journey and pursuit, not only to him, but in what he wants me to be doing. Man. You know what I'm saying?
I was scrolling my timeline. I was either,
and this is ministry.
I think I was either on Facebook or Instagram, bro. I was scrolling my timeline, bro, and it was like 7 different people, bro. And they had a picture up, and they had just lost their lives within a matter of a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, that's 7. I said, why is death? like so close right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I literally was like, I'm like that. I'm talking about these people that don't have no connection with each other. It's just like 7 to 8 different people, and they putting up pictures, man. Like, yeah, I just lost the father of my child last night, and I just lost, you know, this person a week ago, and then I can't sleep because this person's gone now. And I was just like, I instantly just said, "Thank you, God." Like, I instantly was just like, "Thank you, God."
Yeah.
Like, I was like, man, I just, it is amazing you're keeping power in my own life.
My life, yeah.
I would just,
For so long though.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like people just don't. You have to really understand that power that you wake up every single day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you wake up like, you know, I remember seeing like, you know, when we was younger and Papa was kind of like, you know, getting to his like latter days.
Yeah.
But I was a kid, so I didn't really understand it then. Like, and I remember one night, like he wouldn't wake up. You know, Nana trying to wake him up.
Yeah.
She had to call Goddad to come, like, and he still wasn't waking up for a minute. And finally, like, bro, like they called like the ambulance.
Yeah.
And then like finally, bro, like after I don't even know how long this transpired, bro. It was definitely upwards of like 30, 45 minutes. Dang near an hour. Like, bro, and he finally woke up.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that's not by like, you know, design. Like, it's getting close to time, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, God is calling you home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, until you struggle with things like that,
bro.
Then people sit there and like, okay, dang, I need to something bad. And I think when I've gotten, you know, the last few years, I've gotten out of that mindset of like, and of course, mom helps out with so much, reminding us. But I've gotten out of that mindset of like waiting for something
terrible to happen,
waiting for the severity of something.
Yep.
As my brother mentioned, waiting for the severity of something to happen.
Yep.
For me to say, okay, light bulb, it's time for me to serve Jesus.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, now granted, I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a long way. But I'm a long way from where I used to be.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a long, like when I was a teenager, I didn't have a Bible. When I was a teenager, I didn't have a Bible app. When I was a teenager, up in my beginning 20s, I wasn't sitting in meditation. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't sitting there self-reflecting myself. I had a very bad tendency of just kind of moving.
Just going. Yeah, just going.
You know what I'm saying?
Just going.
Just going with whatever.
Yep.
Get up in the morning, go.
Yep.
Like there's no stillness.
Yeah.
There was no stillness, I should say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Had to be busy.
Had
to be moving.
And so now, like, I'm so comfortable with the stillness, the solitude,
the silence,
the peace,
yep,
the silence. You know what I'm saying? To where, bro, this is necessary for my growth because this helps me think.
Yeah, and I that's what you realize. That's what you begin to realize. Ultimately, I was actually busybodying myself, so I could not. Because I was running away from me thinking. I was running away from my thoughts.
Because as we mentioned before, I'm having the identity crisis. What I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
And this is ministry.
Yep.
I'm supposed to do ministry.
Yep.
And it's not necessarily that I have to be a pastor or a preacher.
Yeah, no.
I'm expressing and I'm showing God in different areas of my life to people.
I mean, to tail off on that, you know, like it's a lot of pastors and preachers that don't even understand that, what we just said.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of theologians that will try to discredit everything we saying right now. Like, oh, y'all don't, you know, y'all
don't know nothing.
You can't possibly know something at the age you at, and
you ain't. Well, no.
You haven't lived. Yeah,
my favorite one. You ain't been through nothing.
Yeah, you know, and it's just like
cool.
It's like, you know, like my brother said, we ain't perfect, but we know perfect. Yeah. We know him.
Right.
We know what perfect is.
We know the streak of waking up every single day.
Yeah.
In good health. Yeah.
Perfect. You know what I'm saying? Look, perfect has helped me through a lot of ups and downs in my life.
Yeah.
I know that perfect has a name and I know him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know what flawless is. It lives inside of me. I'm not myself, but it sure does abide with me.
Or I'm
You know?
insufficient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Like, as we getting out of here, man, we just want y'all to just realize too, man, like take advantage of the opportunities, dog. You know, take advantage of them opportunities, you know, especially the ones that you have with God. Like
Yeah.
when especially those ones where you have with God, because it's gonna be the telltale sign to a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's going to open up the gates for you. Those gates that you want to be open is the ones you got to take the advantage of the opportunities of.
Yeah.
Period.
Because, like my brother said earlier, man, there are certain opportunities you definitely will not
Gonna get
experience.
again.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a one-time shot.
And it's not just stuff that you're supposed to live through once, like a graduation. It's like I could be given an opportunity to go teach or to go, you know what I'm saying, or just to go do whatever.
Or a conversation that you need to have with somebody.
And if I don't take heed to it and what God wanted me to do that, if I don't sit there and get out of my own selfish way and say this is what I need to be doing,
that person may be gone, or you might be gone.
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
then I'm going to literally waste time and fail to tap into the potential God gave me.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's not a life. That's not a life you want to live, man. Because then not only will you feel bad, but people will also look at you as an incredible source.
Wow.
And someone that they can't come to when in times of need, in times of when they need to be. And I'm not saying minister to as a pastor, but I'm saying minister to in terms of positive, uplifting, fulfilling.
Man, in other words, they gonna look at you like a fool.
Yeah, like they won't take you serious. They gonna
second guess you every chance they get. Like, oh no, not them. Nah, I would never trust them with that. You know, don't even invite them.
Yeah,
you know,
and I've been in positions where I've been blessed to like train and coach. I was never questioned, and I don't want to have that. That you know what I'm saying? Those moments where a kid looks at me as an uncredible source.
They're like you don't know what you're talking about.
Like, why do I need to do this?
Yeah.